And welcome back to DML. So today we will be moving on to tier 10 of the Big Kit Cup solo event. And for finishing tier 9 you get 450,000 food as a reward, which to be fair isn't really that much for us, but every little bit helps, so I ain't gonna complain. But on tier 10 we need to collect gold, feed dragons and hatch dragons. So the longest one here is the collecting of the gold, because each item only comes every hour, which means for one full reset you have to wait 6 hours. So this tier takes a very long time, around about 2.5 days minimum. We've also managed to finish awakening our Archangel Dragon, which means that his energy element is now unlocked. So we can level him up now, and the higher we get his energy level and his other moves, the better this dragon is going to be for us. So, you know, we've got a lot of planning ahead to do, because when we get like 4 or 5 level 80 dragons, again, this is like way in the future, but eventually we are probably going to have a lot of choices for what we actually want to do with the team. So, I don't know what the final end game plan is. We'll just stick with the 3 that or our main 3 for now, but, you know, we're going to have a Zenrin, an Archangel, and who's the next one going to be? Who's our 6th? I guess that's another question for another day. On top of the event stuff though, we did manage to breed the little Sylvan dragon on our baby account. So I guess we get a baby on our baby account, which is pretty neat. But I mean, he's a cute little rare. I do really like his baby form. He's just a little cutie pie. And he is number 114 on this account. So, you know, we've gotten some pretty cool limited time dragons on this phone account. So I hope I never lose this account along with our main. But we've already done fights with him, especially in the breeding guide and everything, so I won't be showing you him in battle today. But if you are still trying to breed him, you know, he is a tough dragon to breed. I did get him on my second try on this account using like level 12 dragons. So I just got very lucky at the end of the day. So if you're gonna say, but Quacks, I've tried so many times and I can't breed it, how do you do it? Literally just keep rebreeding. Just try your best, do whatever you can. If you don't get him, that sucks, but it is the way it is. And I'm going to pop him on the bed here. You see, I've got clothes on there and some Wii games. What are you doing? You played on my Wii games? You're meant to play the games, not play on top of them, you dit. And remember that if you are on the final tier of the event, or tier 9 or 10, you can start breeding dragons again, because now it won't hinder your progress during the event. So if you are still going for that, those last few tries on the Sylvan, you know, you got 3 days left, or 3.5 days, so you got plenty of attempts to go. And if you are, again, near the end of the event, feel free to go ahead and try and breed it. Nothing else to do. You know, I really wanted to try out this second breeding den, but the problem is, I have nothing left to breed. So, there's no reason for me to buy this second breeding den, even to try it out. Imagine if we actually had some dragons that we could attempt to breed for the sake of that, right? Yeah, it would be great, wouldn't it? But whatever, I've given up on that. Let's do our daily quest for today, because we've got 2 left, and when we do this we'll get another card piece thing for either the Scout or the Foxglove. And I want both of those dragons, of course, because they're new, and whenever we get new stuff, of course I want to get in on that. But, you know, obviously, yesterday I did talk about the changes to the side quests or daily tasks. So you know how I always say, do your daily blue map battles all the time, as many times as you can. That's the best way to level up, get food. That's still true. But of course, there was massive outrage everywhere, because even I was like, wait, what is this? Have they just taken away all of our battles completely? Because that was just completely unreasonable to assume that they'd done that. And honestly, it's not quite as bad as you think. The changes overall to the general players is negative for what they've done in terms of the changes to the side quest battles, but it's not as bad as I thought initially, and it's nowhere near as bad as some people are saying it is. And Gameloft did make a huge post about this as well, but just while we're here, if you are still intrigued and you're like, but it sucks, Quacks, they've taken all the battles away. No, they haven't. Not... Well, kind of they did, but they didn't at the same time, because essentially, we get the same amount of battles in a day. We just have to log in more frequently to get all of those battles. So obviously, anything that requires us to be in the game more to get the same amount of rewards as we used to get is a negative thing. Because what happens? Right, we'll go to the regular map. So, let's find it. We've got these blue map fights here, right? So, we need to... What was the daily quest? Was it perfect hits or was it... Yeah, it is perfect hits. Oh, what a pain in the buttocks. Oh, whatever, we'll do it. But we'll do this blue map fight, for example. So, you know, la-di-da works exactly the same as it always does. You know, everything insta-dies. Fair enough. We get the rewards. Cool, cool. And then we'll do this one as well. You know, just... It's exactly the same as it used to be, of course, just doing the fights. But, when we did all of these yesterday, we realized that we had nowhere near as many fights as we did the day before. And I was like, wait, what the heck? Does this mean that the blue map fights, you just do them and then that's it? That means we're missing out on an extra 16 fights that we used to get from these new daily quests. But... what has happened instead is these blue map fights actually refresh multiple times a day. I don't know the exact specifics, but apparently I was told that they reset every 6 to 8 hours rather than once every day. So, overall, we get the exact same amount of battles apparently, according to Gameloft. It's just we have to log in more than once to be able to do those fights and get the rewards. So you're going, oh, so the battles haven't been removed then. They are still in the game, so we can still get the same amount of rewards in a day, correct? And yes, that is true, but you've also got to think that the more you're required to log in frequently, the more likely it is that at some point you are going to have something to do in your day, or maybe you have to go somewhere where you can't do those fights. So if you just had all of the 16 fights available to do at once, like we used to, obviously, you can just get them all done in like 20 minutes. Done, finished, we're all good. But now, if you do all of your blue map fights, you can't do them then for another like quarter of a day. So, this also makes clan quests quite a bit harder, because you know we have clan quests where it's like, what is it, finish 8 side quest fights? Something like that. Now, if you've done all of them already and then you get that clan quest, it's actually much more difficult to do that. So, now you have to take your time with it, or you have to clear out the gold mines instead. So, you know, technically, they have not nerfed the amount of resources we get, but theoretically, they have as well. So, it's nowhere near as bad as we thought it was initially. You can still get the same amount if you log in, but the question is, can you log in as often as that to get those rewards? That is the real question you have to ask. So, overall, it's still a negative on the player base, because you have to be in the game more often to get the same rewards. But, at the same time, if Gameloft's, I don't know, idea, or what they wanted to achieve was to get players to be logging in more frequently, they have succeeded. Because obviously now, rather than just playing for an hour straight, you're going to have to log in multiple times a day. So, I've been saying it for a while, that Gameloft probably want to force us into the game as often as possible, so that then, you know, it's always in the back of your mind, you always come back. The longer someone's in their game, the more likely they are to spend money, of course, and just, you know, keep playing the game in general. So I don't know, maybe, even though this is a really negative thing for us in general, because we just can't do all the fights, maybe this will make Gameloft a profit in the long run. And maybe they know that. Maybe that's in their numbers somewhere. And that's why they decided to implement it. Again, I'm not saying I agree with that, because, you know, making this game any more difficult than it already is already questionable because it's grindy enough. But that is the gist of what we know so far. So what dragon piece are you going to give us? So we got a piece for the foxglove. So we got one piece for the scout, one piece for the foxglove. Holy God, I can't believe that it's going to take 45 days of doing these quests just for the foxglove. And I imagine that we can also get repeat pieces, of course, so imagine if you really wanted the foxglove, but all that you were getting every day were scout dragon pieces. I can already foresee problems with this stupid card pack daily system. Because 45 pieces, it's gonna take forever. So painful. But, you know, to those of you that were saying you were gonna, like, lobby and take Gameloft down and stop their horrendous choices about the game, please, like I said yesterday, I said it seems like a negative thing, but I'm gonna reserve judgment until, you know, we've seen a little bit more, we really know what is going on, and we're still not 100% yet because all the numbers and that haven't come out, but it's nowhere near as bad as everyone was making it out to be. Like, people were saying, we're only going to be able to get 150,000 food a day? Gameloft, you're off your crocker! And I was like, oh God, I'm sure there is something that we're missing. And there was. So, thank God they actually bothered to explain that eventually. Although, I wish they'd have told us beforehand. But, god damn. It's been a while since we've had so much negative from all sides about a change like that. Because normally we get people sort of in a binary, people really happy about the change for whatever reason, and people really, really upset about a change for another reason. But every single comment I saw was angry yesterday. So I hope that now people do understand that while it's okay to give feedback, of course it's fine to say this change is not okay, this is not helpful, we don't want this. Please, at least reserve some of your judgment until you actually fully understand what the heck is going on. Again, it's not a positive change overall for us, but it is not the end of the world either. Again, I don't like having to take away our resources unless we play the game for, like, multiple times a day, every day. Because we already have events in that force us in so frequently as it is, that I don't want anything else forcing us in all the gosh darn time. And to be honest, I am not someone that is going to remember or want to do that, so I'll just be like, fine, I'll just level up slower, I'll just gain food slower, I'll get less gold, I really don't care enough. And that's the sort of person I am. I'm not sure about you, but that is probably what is going to happen with me. I mean, it's taken us forever just to get to level 122, and now it's taken like a month to get to 123, or at least a few weeks. So it takes long enough. Gosh darn it. I'm just waiting for those new events that let us increase the amount of habitat space we get, which shows you that there is the ability to make these habitats bigger than 3. So why couldn't they just say, hey, you know these regular 3 space habitats, how about we make those 4 spaces? No, instead we're going to release special shards in limited time events only to do that. I think the increase in habitat space is the thing that I'm questioning the most right now, because why couldn't they just give us a flat upgrade to habitats? Even if it was like, pay 5 gems to unlock a 3rd slot in your habitat, you know, I wouldn't even care as much. But limited time event only. What if you're, I don't know, what if you're not available for 2 weeks? What if you're on holiday? And then you're someone that has 400 unique dragons and you can't put them anywhere still. I don't know. I don't really agree with that either. But, you know, I just wanted to address the negative stuff that happened yesterday, negative thoughts and everything like that. So it's up to you. Have your own opinion. Let me know what you think. But even though it's bad, it's not as bad as you think. Okay? Just want to make that very clear. So for now, thank you guys for joining me. Best of luck to you in this Big Kit Cup event and all your breeding. Again, make sure you are keeping track of your timers if you actually want to finish the event off. And, you know, if we find anything new about the update, new events or anything like that, of course I'll be here to let you know. So until next time, I will see you then.